Welcome back to Farming Simulator 22 and Ravenwood Farm. And last time we finished baling the bigger of the two fields. I would like to get the other bits baled up before we then worry about bale collecting. I've got the game sound a little bit high. So we're going to get the bales collected up and then in the shed. I'm really tempted to look at leasing an auto loader or auto stacker because there's quite a lot of bales, and that will take quite a while for me to manually stack. And then probably we'll move on to the next game day, get the cows fed, and then work on getting that big field turned into a cornfield for summer. Yeah, that's the plan basically. Not going to do a massively long intro on this one. It's probably just something to get straight into a time lapse on. Something I am going to preview later, and I may I'll borrow the money to do it. I want to put the headland management mode on because I've been messing about with that and it's kind of cool. And I think it will be quite good for getting that field prepped rather than using courseplay. Really like how headland management mode works with controlling tools and stuff. And the other thing that I need to do is thanks to whoever it was, sorry I've forgotten your name, who suggested rather than selling the plough, editing it so it runs at a slower, more realistic speed, which is what I'm going to do. I think that seems like a pretty sensible idea, because I do like that plough. But it just seemed unrealistically fast, so I need to have a look and get that sorted as well. I also need to change dollars. Excuse me. Hopefully I managed to edit that out. Let's do that, shall we? We're not going to be using courseplay today, so we can put it onto miles as well. Haven't checked actually if version 18, 7.0.18 deals with the kilometers and miles, and in particular miles, giving funny working widths for things. So maybe I'll test that later as well. We're going to miss a bit. It's just really nice base game as well. So yeah, I've slowed down time still. I'm going to get the baling done today, well this game day, and get the bales put away, and then we'll progress to the next day and sort out getting the corn in, which I think I probably just said. And I've really not thought about this turn particularly well. Because that crop's grown enough now that we don't really want to be driving on it. Anyone watch Austin Powers? Anyway, I think at this point we'll bung it on a time lapse, get this done, and make some progress. So future me will be with you in a bit. And here it is. Yeah, I really screwed up this turn, didn't I? I get this sorted, and we then get into getting these two little bits left that we have baled, and then we're going to lease the Arcusin auto stacker because it's a lot of bales. And going to use Courseplay's new bale collecting mode, which I've done a tutorial on, to get all the bales picked up because there's a lot of bales and it will save us some time. So in fact we're going to send the case off with auto drive to head up to the store to pick the stacker up so that we can lease it. If we only had this field, I probably wouldn't have bothered. I would have probably just used the JCB to put them in storage, but we've got more, so we'll just lease that for $4,500. Doesn't leave us with much money left, and do it in euros because I keep forgetting to change it. One of those things. And it didn't crash. Anyway, so no course loaded in courseplay. Just open up the mini GUI and collect bales and hit go. And yeah, because courseplay uses generic field speed settings, you might want to turn that up a bit as well, which is what you saw me doing there very quickly. Baling done. Let's give this a quick wash and then we'll stick it in the shed. And then once the bales are collected, we need to look at rolling the grass fields to get the fertilisation up, and then ploughing it in. And this is the wrong roller. This is a field roller, not a grasswork roller. So I'm just taking over the bale collecting to get that field cleared, and then we're going to have a go at rolling. But yeah, I didn't notice until later that I'd hooked up to the wrong roller, because I'd forgotten that we had a separate grasswork one, which is much smaller, which is awesome, isn't it? So a couple more bales to get off here. I was really pleased with how the bale collection worked. Although this is two fields, or it was two fields combined into one, it seemed to work better. So obviously that's something that they've improved in the latest version. A few more bales to collect. So we got 28, 33, I think, hay bales, which is pretty nice. It should keep us going for a while because they're pretty big as well. And we've got a decent amount of silage as well, so I think we're set for cattle feed. We're going to just drop these off and then return the auto stacker to the store, but obviously it saved us a bunch of time. And I'm going to set course plate up on the roller, still the wrong roller on the back, I haven't realised at this point. And what confused me is the grassland roller I can use on the back of the 6M, which is not what I've got here. So the 6M actually struggles to pull this as well, which is and it's not giving me a fertilisation state. And this is when I realised, actually no, this is when I think I need a bigger tractor. So we stick the case on it, and that doesn't fix the problem that it's the wrong roller. I was tempted to edit all this out, but we can't edit out all of the mistakes, can we? So again, recreate the course, and now I realise it's the wrong roller. And then I've got to try and find where I left the grassland roller. Because there's a mulcher back there. It's with the baler and the forage wagon. And I eventually remember, and we jump back in the case, and there it is. And so you're going to get course plate going on this, because then I want to run the plough on the back of the event. I have, as suggested, edited the plough so that rather than running at 20 kilometers an hour, it runs at 12, which is the same speed as other ploughs. So I think that's a sensible compromise, and it actually works really well on here. So I thought I'd switch this to 1 day months, but I haven't. So we actually end up with more time than I thought to get this field prepped. Let's get the bales put away though. I'm going to do stacks of 5 because it seems like a sensible height for in this shed. It's a shame it's not a little bit higher, because I do like stacking them in even numbers. It makes it easier getting the bales off of the stacks of 14, although they're in piles of 7, so it doesn't really matter, does it? I'm waffling. What I do like is FS22 bale physics. This goes really smoothly, which is really nice, apart from my slightly dodgy stacking there, going sideways across the shed. Actually, from a physics point of view, this worked really well. This is the first time I've had a lot of bales to stack, at least in video anyway. And it worked really well. Actually, yes, the first time I've had a lot of bales to stack, because the other stuff I've done with an autoloader, which is, yeah, good work, Giants. People often don't give them enough credit for the stuff that they get done right. So nice supply of hay there. We'll have another cut in a couple of months, because grass grows incredibly quickly in FS22 as well. So don't think we're going to be short of grass. Right, let's get the plough going. So I will run this while course plate runs the roller, and that means we will be at max fertilisation. But I want to try out headland management, which I'd forgotten to activate. So $3,000 to install that. I have upped our loan a little bit to pay for that, just because I want to have a play with headland management mode, because I was messing around with this before we got into doing the tutorial that I've released since. Just setting everything up with skip rows and auto turning on, just to experiment with it really. So I don't think it's something that I'm going to use a lot. It feels a bit too automated for me, and I can do a tight stern than auto drive does. So not auto drive, BCA does. So yeah, I think I agree with some of the comments I had that at this point you might as well just use crossblade, which I think is fair. You know, I'm pressing 4 keys per row. So this was just me testing it out before I was confident enough to make a video on it. I did some other testing as well, but I feel the 12 kilometers an hour is much more realistic on here as well. We are catching up with the roller, so we're going to have to fill in some of those skip rows, which we have done, and that means the roller's got slightly ahead of us, so we are progressing nicely now. Roller's nearly done. We will finish getting this field ploughed, and then I believe I roll, and we can do some slurry spreading as well on the grass fields. You only need to do 1 fertilisation state to get up to maximum, so the roller is covering that on here. We're going to roll one of the fields and spread slurry on the other one, just to do something different and to use some of the slurry up. I was tempted to have a look at getting the BGA on here, but we really can't afford it, and I'm only going to run the 1 year on here. I'm hoping that by the time I've finished and got through to harvest on here, that Calmsden will be ready. It's on the testing list. I'm expecting it will fail the first round of testing, and there'll be a bit of a delay of it going back in again. But yeah, my hope is that we will have Calmsden by the late Feb, I think is realistic, and that should fit in about with finishing this series off, hopefully. And we'll try and keep it at 2 series for now until more maps come out. The last couple of rows, and then we've got some big headlands to do on here because of the auto turn in VCA is quite gentle, so had to leave some fairly meaty headlands. Yeah, I don't really feel like I've got a lot to say on this video. We're just working through the jobs on here. Don't know if I mentioned that I have increased the capacity of the cow barns from 180 to 160, just to allow us to have some calves on here, and they feel so small. I know there's supposed to be realistic capacities for the size of barns, but yeah, I'm used to one that will hold 500, so we've upped it to 160 on here. So one of the things about Calmsden as well was watching Daggerwin's map tour, all of the animal pens are all really small, and again, so we're having some issues here with differentials. So what I end up doing is switching on the manual differentials in VCA and locking four-wheel drive and the rear diff, and that sorts it. It's fine then. Yeah, not sure what happened as to why it got stuck, but yeah. So back to what I was talking in. Yeah, the animal pens on Calmsden seem really quite small. I suspect I might do a little edit to that to bump the numbers up, just to be more in line with what we're used to from FS19, because I don't feel like everything else has changed to balance that out. So, yeah, give the plough a quick wash, give the tractor a wash as well, trying to keep stuff cleaning. So I have a load of kit waiting out to be cleaned up and put away from mowing grass that someone forgot to deal with. The next job is to roll this field, which we're going to do ourselves. That will get this one up to max fertilisation state, and then the little field I'm going to spread slurry on, just because I can't be bothered to manoeuvre the roller around that little tiny patch of grass. I'm still working on what to put in there instead. I'm actually wondering about doing greenhouses, just as another source of income to bring in some regular income and make use of that space. Have to borrow the money. Actually, no, we could sell some milk to pay for them. I don't think we need that extra bit of grass at all. So yeah, I might see if I can stick a couple of big greenhouses on there actually. There's a nice mod on Simply Safe Mods, which is a pair of sets of greenhouses with the triggers mirrored, so you can put 2 right next to each other and then the triggers are on the outside. That might work quite well in that space actually. We'll have a look at that in the next episode on here, and obviously next episode as well we will be planting something in the other small field. I can't remember what I was going to go for in there, and the corn. So we'll probably have to skip a day or two to get to that point, but nice to use the planter that we've got that I've not touched at all. Once we've got this done, I'm going to skip ahead to the next day and we will get the cows fed. Didn't take very long at all to spread the slurry on that field. It's quite a nice little slurry spot there. So TMR mixing, I do 3 buckets of silage in this mixer and then fill the rest up with hay. We should get some mineral feed, I think. I've not been using that on here. I think that would be good to add in as well. It's not a very big feed, it's only an 11,000 litre TMR mixer, so yeah, can't fit very much in. Does the job. Put in probably about 3 loads every 2 days into each pen. That's about what I'm doing. And that just keeps it topped up. They're not eating anywhere near the capacity for food in there. That will change obviously when we have calves and get more cows in there. But again, another 3 buckets of silage. We will be sorted for the cows being fed, ready to get into some planting in the next video. But I think at this point I'd say thanks for watching, folks, and like, subscribe, comment, all that stuff, and I'll catch you next time here on Ravenwood.